Bird has pleaded not guilty. He's taking time off from the Celtics now and has apologized, saying he does not condone violence against women.
Jabari Carl Bird, born July 3rd, 1994. Making it to the NBA is every young hooper's dream. You imagine every situation you could be in along the way and things going your ideal way every step. From your high school career ending in you as one of the best in the country, to that fun process of being courted, then choosing a college program, being a star on the college level immediately, winning a lot of games and play well enough to be one of the few that get the chance to leave earlier than normal. Pre-draft workout, the draft and hearing your name called, buttoning a jacket, ready to take the most enjoyable 20 steps of your life. Potential ahead of you, then you go on to have a Hall of Fame career. In a perfect basketball world, that sounds like an ideal journey. But like today's feature, not many talk about the other side that zero envision. Going from a star in high school, college of choice, but you deal with constant health issues. Leaving early is not an option. Second round pick, fighting for your NBA life, but a team gives you an opportunity and re-signs you in the midst of that, only to have off-court issues of the worst kind soon after that lead to your arrest and opportunity stripped away. Not mainly because of your talent, but that you've allowed yourself to become a poor representative of a billion-dollar brand. Therefore, you end up with a slim chance not to fade away into obscurity. Jabari Bird couldn't have asked for a better start. He was a high school star, known for his prototypical NBA body, aggressive athleticism, high energy, and a name the combination of arguably the best to ever do it. He was within a group of 25 by the end of his senior year that yearly have the best chance to make the NBA, and a high percentage of them actually achieve that. Jabari was one of them. But saying that didn't last long is an understatement. He was signed to an NBA contract September 2017. By September 2018, he was arrested, and by early 2019, he was waived and played his last game of just 13 in the NBA. Not only are those stories never imagined, they're rarely talked about, which is why Stunted Growth is so important, because not only I'll also give a young basketball player the roadmap of what not to do while using the biggest 3 examples why it happened to this guy, meaning it can happen to you. Decisions. All because Jabari Bird made a wrong one. Along with these reasons, he's no longer in the league and probably will not be ever again. What happened? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. You can also send a super thanks by clicking the button below. Enjoy the video. Jabari Bird was model height for an NBA shooting guard at 6'6". He's from Vallejo, California, and attended Salesian High School, where he was a star since his sophomore season. He helped his team to a 100-8 record by the end of his career, becoming a McDonald's All-American in the process. With that, he became one of the top 25 players the NBA will closely watch on the next level, and first opportunity to be drafted of thousands of college players, not to mention Europe making a huge surge in sending prospects to the NBA that are now turning out to be some of the best on that level. He chose California over Arizona, Stanford, and Oregon, and expected to have at least one season where he took a leap forward as a clear NBA player or at least a first-round pick. That never happened. He struggled out the gate and wasn't more than the 4th leading scorer until his senior year. Stunt number 1, enough display. The first growth stunt for Jabari Bird that caused him to be drafted late in the NBA draft as a 22, about to be 23-year-old rookie was that in college he wasn't able to display he could be more than a role player on the next level. In doing that, little things about his game began to stand out as to why. First off, he was a McDonald's All-American, top 25 in the nation, so going into a school like California, expectations are high for him to have a head start on his class, being given an opportunity you would expect an All-American to get at that school. First of all, as a creator for himself and others, he showed he could average the same amount of turnovers as assists, and in his final year, he spent more time making a bad decision instead of helping his team to a basket. Small detail, but one if I noticed, I'm sure GMs with the power to pay you millions of dollars noticed this as well. As a 6'6" athletic wing player on a college level where that's an ideal combination, he rebounded the ball poorly at just 3 a game career average. This shows he's not aggressively attacking the offensive boards, doesn't like the physicality that happens down low, or does not put himself in the best positions to get rebounds, which is an IQ issue that cannot always be taught. He also didn't display that he was consistently healthy over the course of his college career, missing time in 2013 due to a foot injury and multiple back spasms later on that he'd missed time for, and that's never a good sign, especially for an upperclassman. He was efficient from the field and from 3, yet that still only ended up in him averaging 14 points a game in his best season, with the other 3 10 points a game on average. He never took a leap forward even on his own team that showed clearly he could dominate amateur competition and that he was ready to be a franchise interest. This caused him not only to have to stay all 4 years in school, but to be taken late in the second round, 4 picks away from being undrafted. That meant no guarantees, possibly a team you don't fit well with, or get quality opportunity to even show you can adjust. In 2017-18, he played 13 games for the Boston Celtics with 1 start and the rest in the G League. A growth stunt for sure, but still a chance to save his career, seeing as the Celtics re-signed him after the season. Stunt number 2, arrested development. Except Jabari's wasn't at all comical. He was re-signed by the Celtics July 26, 2018, and less than 2 months later, he was reportedly arrested for domestic violence along with kidnapping and later a witness intimidation charge. He'd admit to repeatedly choking his girlfriend after an argument about him cheating began. Her reports to the police was that he threw her against the wall multiple times with his hand around her throat until she went limp. The only way she got away was because Bird fell asleep, giving her the opportunity to whisk away and head straight for the police. He slept through the most crucial part of his career. Later, it was revealed he was suffering from panic attacks and emotional anxiety. February 7, 2019, Boston traded him to Atlanta along with cash for a second-round pick, and Bird was waived the next day. Domestic violence is never okay and will never work out in the player's favor. That sentence should be inscribed along with many under a player's draft cap and has an electronic notification that beeps and electric shocks any player about to throw his life away and violate a female. It's just not worth it. When you're an end of the draft selection, signed by the year, and just received a second opportunity to be in a league of less than 500, there's no calculation you can conjure that makes that decision make sense. It shows you're out of control at the very least, and a possible danger to others in the workplace that makes one think, if you do that to the person closest to you at that moment, what would you do to a teammate or coach or anyone else I'm invested in? That charge sealed Jabari's fate. He was sentenced to 2 years probation, 60 days home confinement, and had to attend an abuse prevention program where he had to admit he was a batterer. Damn. Stunt number 3, there's levels. Although stunt number 2 essentially canceled Jabari Bird from the NBA, most likely for good, what also stunted his growth, and really, had it not been for this, he may have overcame his arrest and still been able to stay in the league. He just wasn't that good a player. That's no disrespect. There's levels to basketball, just like there's levels to any job. Not because we work for the same company mean we're both qualified to run it one day. You may be a better secretary than I'll ever be, just as my potential to be a boss may supersede yours. I remember my exit interview from my Division I school, and my coach said to me, "You'd be a stud on a lower level." I could have taken that the wrong way, but understanding I hadn't put in the work to stay at that level, that was fair. Maybe on a lower level, Jabari Bird is a stud. He wasn't great in any area for the Celtics, except maybe he brought great energy, but how far does that take you when everything else is just not up to par? A better handle, consistent jump shot, better IQ, rebounding, and discipline could have taken Jabari Bird a long way. All in all, Jabari Bird still made the NBA and at least had an opportunity to show the world his gift. But he lost control of his emotions one day, and that cost him everything. He can still make a lot of money overseas, although he's made it clear that that's not an option. He's 28 now, so what does the future hold? We'll see. But for these reasons, his growth was stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth, and I'm out.